Hello, and welcome to NAACP Perspectives, where we showcase and highlight successes and achievements in the Johnstown African American community. I'm your host, Ron Fisher, and with me today, I'd like to welcome to the show the Greater Prospect Inc. Committee. Now, as you can see, this is definitely a circle of power here with me, but to my left, I have Reverend James Brett, Mike Kane, and Deacon Jeff Wilson. Fellas, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. Now, the Greater Prospect Inc. Committee, that sounds like a great committee to be a part of. And also, it's probably an unfamiliar committee to a lot of folks here in town. Now, when did this organization actually establish?
The organization has been established actually for about going on 2 years right now. We started back in about 2011. And we've been working over time to get to this point where we are now.
Okay.
Just formulating things and getting things in order.
Okay, and actually, how many members are there on the committee right now?
Well, what it is, it's a board of members from the churches. So
Okay.
there's 4 churches that are represented, and there's 4 board members.
Okay, and what would the 4 churches be? Are they the churches located up in Prospect?
Yes, sir. They're number 1, Stevens Memorial Holy Church. We have Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. We have
I know I put you on the spot. I know I did.
no, that's okay. That's okay. Bethel AME
Uh-huh.
and
Jefferson Memorial.
Jefferson Memorial.
Okay, so that's good. So all the churches getting together and improving the neighborhood of Prospect.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what's some of the items that the committee has been working on since being established?
Well, we've been working on mainly just getting the store in order, getting the right perspective for how we want the store to operate and run. We have different committees within the committee that are, we're on a store committee, we have a financial end, we have I'll put it like this, I'll say artistic end, the painting and the preparation for the store, inside and outside.
Okay.
So there's about 3 or 4 different committees within the committee.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
It's interesting. Sounds like each neighborhood needs a committee like the one you have up in Greater Prospect.
It's a true model. Yes.
Yes.
So the big item that you all are working on, now let's be real, the big item that you all are working on is this co-op store.
That's
now,
right.
Can one of you gentlemen actually educate our viewers on exactly what a co-op is?
Sure. Co-op is a organization where you will have the community that owns the organization or owns the store, which would be the product. So basically through those 4 churches, along with help from the Community Foundation and other entities within the Johnstown area, that you'll have membership to this co-op store. For example, an individual can become a member of the co-op by simply giving a $60 donation. But once they give that donation, they will receive discounts at the store. And it would be incomplete without giving you a little history. The Prospect neighborhood is a very proud neighborhood, but because of economic downturns, in particular after the steel industry declined, then we lost our economic base. You used to be able to come over the Prospect Bridge and literally find just about anything you needed within about a 1 or 2 block area. So what this store will do is return the ability for not only people in Prospect to be able to have great shopping, you know, to go in and buy that loaf of bread or that milk or whatever their conveniences are, but it also gives an opportunity to those 3,000 some odd people that drive through our neighborhood every day over the Prospect Viaduct to stop, get a salad, get some food, whatever they might need to take home, that loaf of bread to their spouse.
That's good. So it sounds like you're meeting the needs of the community or that neighborhood, and also you're actually making it attractive to those that's passing by as well. So
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. So the co-op store, what is, now this has been an ongoing project.
Yes.
Now, before we get into the opening of the store, what kind of items would you be able to find in this co-op store?
Well, we want to specialize in having things that are readily needed for basic milk, bread, juices, drinks. We also are really trying to, as we go along, think towards healthy foods also.
Yes.
We want to establish a community garden, which is part of this store project, which produce our own vegetables and things during the summer months when we can grow them, and they will be able to supply the store for the people to come in and get fresh vegetables as needed.
That's great. That's great. You know what? I spend time up in Prospect, and there's always a time when it's like, I need something. I gotta leave the entire hill
That's
just
right.
to the store real quick. You know,
Yes.
so that's definitely meeting the needs, and I love the idea of it.
Yes.
And I love the fresh idea of it. You know, not just being another liquor store opening
That's
up
right.
in an
Yes.
area that doesn't need it.
That's right.
So that's great.
Yes.
So where are you going to find a lot of the items for the store from? Is it going to be some items here locally, or?
Yes.
Well, the items that we're going to, we will be dealing with stores that are, wholesale dealers from around the area who will supply us with a lot of the foods that we need, and we really want to keep it local,
Okay.
you know, because that's the part of the plan. We want to establish localities being involved in the communities that really need it, and as you said, Prospect really needs it. When I was growing up, Prospect was, like Deacon Jeff said, there were a lot of stores within one block.
That's right.
Prospect Street itself had like about 3-4 stores right there
Right.
on that corner as soon as you get off the viaduct. And I look at it as a renaissance sort. It's like a new start in the community, and it's real exciting.
Brand new start.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Starting a new direction. That's
Yeah.
good. You know, it's funny, as you were speaking, in my last place of employment, I remember getting to my office, and you know how you start somewhere, you go through the desk to see everything's cleaned up, and I found a book. It was called Prospect Hill.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
Yes.
I was so in awe, because I was like, a book
Oh,
about
yeah.
Prospect. I said, this can't be Prospect in
Yes.
Johnstown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was, you
It's a
know.
very self-sustaining neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yes.
I used to hear the stories my mother and my father would share, and I said, Prospect in Johnstown, you know,
Yes,
and it's so
that's
good
right.
that it's great that we have folks like yourselves in the right seats,
Yes.
taking the right actions to make this thing back to where it was.
Oh, we're very excited, and in particular because that, to give you another example, a person who lives in the upper part of Prospect, that's a long hill, and they would have to spend approximately $6 to $7 just to go over the Prospect Viaduct. For example, if they don't have transportation, have to either catch a bus, a cab to get a gallon of milk. So this will be giving them an opportunity to stay right in the neighborhood. And we're excited because this is a legitimate convenience store. It won't be walking in seeing bare shelves. This is going to be fully stocked. Along with that, the mention of the fresh vegetables. The Sandyville Cemetery will be one of the sources. I'm sorry, not cemetery. Well, it's a park now, basically, Cemetery Park. But they have the greenhouse there, so that will help supply the store. You'll see, again, churches and organizations that are going to provide salads, for example, or maybe some young mother that is not a great cook may be able to stop in the store on a Saturday, and we might have classes to teach them how to cook healthy foods and be able to provide for their family. So it's going to be a store, but it's also going to be a community gathering place. And, contrary to belief, I remember recently having a conversation with the police advisory with the chief about crime rates in the city. Prospect has one of the lowest crime rates in the city of Johnstown. It's a safe place to come. It's a place that you're so close to downtown, so if you're going in to do your shopping downtown, make a stop on the way in or a stop on the way out and get something to eat.
Yeah, that's great, and I love the idea of having the produce come right from Sandyville.
Yes.
That's the community working together on food.
That's right.
isn't it?
That's right.
And I know, Mike, me and you've had these conversations before about Sandyville and trying to get these gardens throughout the entire Johnstown. How's that coming along?
Well, that's going very well. This summer we'll be up to 11 community gardens. There'll be new ones at East Side and West Side Elementary.
Okay.
And in fact, there's a meeting, sort of an organizational meeting next month to talk about implementation. You can't do much right now, but to get ready for the spring. And so we have a relationship established that the store will be able to work with all the community gardens. And while that food is intended to stay in the communities where it's grown, in part, in terms of excess food, extra food, or what have you, to go up to the co-op. And then the idea is it can be sold as fresh produce, or it can be used to make soup and salads, as Steve and Jeff mentioned. So there'll be fresh local food in the community available through the co-op. And then, of course, everything that gets sold there, all the proceeds go right back in to help the co-op get even stronger. So that's the model. And the one thing we didn't mention, of course, is the laundromat, too.
That's right.
Okay.
And the building was designed to be a store on one side and a small laundromat on the other. Four washers, 3 regular-sized dryers, and 4 dryers, 3 regular-sized washers, and 1 oversized washer for quilts and so forth. It'll be an environmentally sustainable building. There'll be a solar thermal system on the roof that will provide the hot water for the laundromat.
Oh, so is this kind of like a green?
Absolutely,
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll be certainly the community's. It'll be one of the first green co-ops that I know of, and it'll be one of our communities among the first green buildings. You know, there's a sort of certification system for that, and it'll get approved that way. So we're in pretty good shape. We're still looking for some funding for the washers and dryers themselves. So if anybody is interested, please contact the Community Foundation at our website. And the idea is, as soon as we get that supported, those will be put into play too. And that came about because we surveyed the neighborhood at the churches, at Reverend James Church and Deacon Jeff's church. We talked to the congregations and what are your needs. We surveyed the neighborhood, and in addition to the convenience store, the laundromat was right at the top.
That's right. Absolutely.
Was right at the top.
That's good.
Something much needed and has been missing for years from the neighborhood.
It's great that you all did the research. I mean, there's so many times a store opens up and it's not a need or a want of the community, and the store slowly tinkers out and fades away.
Yes.
Most small businesses, they close within 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
The co-op is something that my son can maybe one day volunteer.
That's right. Yes.
Which is
We
another
hope
great
so.
point I wanted to get to is the co-op seems like this is the community taking ownership back in the community.
That's right.
You know? So where do you find the staff for a co-op like this?
Well, we have a volunteer. A lot of it is going to be volunteerism. We've been working with Greater Johnstown High School. We've been working with other community foundations that are willing to supply people who are very interested in helping out. Some are the young students, some are in, I can't think of the name of the other, the one that has young men and women that come up and they helped us throughout the summer. I believe is it ACRP?
Alternative Community
Yes,
Resource
that's
Program.
correct.
Yes, that's what it is, and they've been very diligent in helping us. And this is how it's going to work. It's going to also be a thing where it's going to inspire people.
That's
The
right.
young people are going to take pride in what's happening in the community. This is what we're trying to make happen so that they will be able to say, we're going to do even more. I
Yes.
look at this as a spearhead, so to speak, to where other things are going to take place after this. Initially,
It's definitely building the momentum.
Yes.
And it, like you were saying about the kids, you know, it's making it's attractive to the kids now too.
Right.
Because a lot of them just want to. I talked to you so many times, and they just want to bail. They just want to jump.
Right.
Abandon ship.
Right.
But what about trying to fix the ship?
That's
You know,
Well-
and what are the
Yeah.
plans when you leave?
That's
But
right.
a lot of them don't even have plans to go anywhere. Then they end up 2-3 years back,
Well,
starting back over.
We've actually there have been a group of young people that have been instrumental in coming to the meetings and part of the initial planning stage, and they are leaders for the younger ones. In fact, we're real enthusiastic about the artwork that's going to take place. We want to make sure that it shows off a little bit of the artistic values of Johnstown. So there will be a group of young people that on the first phase are going to actually paint murals inside the store, depicting everything from a timeline in the city of Johnstown. There'll be a gospel wall, for example, that will depict life within the Christian churches and the various churches in the city. There'll be one wall that will pay a tribute or thanks to all of those volunteers and all of those people that are part of the membership of the co-op. And then, once we're done with the exterior, the long term, perhaps this spring, there's a wall that's adjacent to the street, William Penn Avenue. The next street over is Loman Street. So the goal is to eventually paint a huge mural over that whole wall, which will, of course, beautify the neighborhood, but it'll give these young people a lasting impression. I tell them when they're 80, 90 years old, they'll be able to look back and, see how they contributed to the neighborhood into the city of Johnstown.
That's that ownership piece again.
Yes.
Now, again, where are you finding the youth to do that?
Well, the majority of them will come from the BYF for Baptist Youth Fellowship, which is out of Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. However, again, we have volunteers from Johnstown High, ACRP, and they're just, I mean, it's amazing every time you stop by and look at the construction and see the various people from all over the greater Johnstown area that are contributing. And these volunteers are even coming at night. There are people who work full-time jobs. So it's not, it wouldn't be unordinary to pass by there at 11 o'clock at night and see a vehicle parked there that's inside. And as Mike Kane said, this store is one of the most high-tech projects that you'll find. Everything from the light that will come into the building to the solar panels that will heat the water and save money, but along with that, the state-of-the-art security system. I mean, this store is going to be ready for.
You probably have some folks from out of town and sparking an interest with them at times, I'm sure.
Well, not only that,
Already have.
but we had a group from the north side of Pittsburgh that came into more than one meeting, I believe it's been. And that, you know, a lot of times in Johnstown, we kind of count ourselves a little short, thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. But these people came to Johnstown to listen and get ideas from Johnstown because they would like to duplicate this same thing in the Pittsburgh area.
Getting ideas from Johnstown.
Isn't that
How about that?
Yes.
That's right.
That's great to hear. It really is. So it's the neighborhoods taking ownership, taking their neighborhood back, improving their neighborhood, beautifying their neighborhood, making it attractive for everybody involved. So it's been an ongoing thing. But if somebody wanted to be a part of this, how could they get involved?
Wow. You know, if you don't mind, I'll take a crack at that one. There are a couple ways, and one is shop there. I mean, do your laundry there. I mean, you know, use the store. Buy the salad or the soup or whatever's being made. If you live in the neighborhood or not, make it your first, you know, sort of stop. The other thing is that, as Reverend James alluded to, was the membership. You know, it's $60 a year to join. You'll get some discounts on food and special mailings and stuff like that. But if you want to volunteer 12 hours a week, and you don't have to have a whole lot of experience, if you just want to come in on Saturday mornings, or 12 hours a month, I'm sorry, 12 hours a month. If you just want to come in on Saturday mornings and sweep up, or if you just want to help even do the newsletter, or, you know, it doesn't have to even be in the store, then in lieu, you don't have to pay anything. You'll get the membership card and get the discount. So it'll be volunteer driven in that regard. If you like to make soup, come down and make soup. You know, there's certain certifications you have to get and all that, and we'll provide all that. We'll provide all that's needed to become an approved volunteer. So right there's three ways. Join as a member, become a volunteer, but most important for everybody in the community, just shop there. Just stop by, order lunch, what have you.
So speaking about lunch, will you offer is there like a deli section in the co-op?
We're going to have, and this is really nice, there'll be a sandwich maker, there'll be a sandwich board there, kind of like other corner stores. So you'll be able to come in and order a sandwich and all that stuff. Absolutely.
Option for lunch.
And there'll be some other stuff. That
yes.
You know, and we've had a lot of help, as was mentioned, on the doing the construction. There was a construction committee with Jim White and Vince Peluso have been leading that, and they've just been heroes in terms of coordinating all the volunteers. And
if I may mention before we forget too, that Reverend Sylvia King has been on the ground floor. Her ideas and sometimes her stern vision, if you know her, which has been great because it makes sure that we stay focused.
I'm sure. Well, that's good. So we spoke about momentum earlier, and I'm sure we've gained some momentum with this show today. So when does the store actually open?
The store is designated to open January 20th, Martin Luther King's birthday.
Perfect. It can't get any better than that.
Yes.
That's the goal.
You guys do that on purpose now? Or?
Yes.
That's right.
That's good. So is there going to be, how's that day work out then, the first day?
Well, that day is going to work out. It's the way we're putting it together. It's going to be an opening where we're going to be able to first initially open, let people come in, talk to them, you know, more or less just let them get a feel for what's been happening and see the results of even their work. Those who are volunteer, we want everybody to come who had anything to do with it on that day.
Will there be like an actual ceremony or any like type of special event for that day?
Yes.
Especially with it being Martin Luther King Day.
Sure. Yes.
That's true. We didn't finalize exactly how it's going to be, how we're going to act upon it, but yes, absolutely. It's
Okay.
going to be
And if I have anything to do with it, the Smooth Sound Band will perform. Yes. just so you know
You
that.
worked it
Yes,
in.
yes, just so you know that. They'll be proud of me.
While we're on the topic of smooth sound,
Yes.
Deacon Wilson has been on the show numerous times, and he never fails to highlight some of the things he has going on, which is great because you always have a lot of great things going on.
Thank you.
So let's take just a second to go to Smooth Sound and say what you have going on.
Sure.
For our folks at home that don't know about Smooth Sound, Deacon Wilson will get you. He'll speed you up on that.
Just want to let you know that if you're free on the New Year weekend, that would be on the weekend of December the 28th. Smooth Sound will be performing at the new Our Sons Hall, which is the former Knights of Columbus in downtown Johnstown on Main Street. It's $25, and the proceeds goes towards the Flood City Youth Academy, and that is located on Lincoln Street in the former Bureau of Employment Security building. So come out and enjoy the start and end of the old year and the start of the new year. Go to church if you can on New Year's Eve, but also come out, and this includes food. You get a full meal with the $25. That'll be Smooth Sound. Who's Your Daddy will also be performing, and then you'll have a real great treat with the Michael Jackson impersonator, Aaron Jefferson. Thank you.
Perfect. And no, that's great because it goes to show that you have some other stuff going on, don't you?
Absolutely.
As the both of you gentlemen do as well.
Yes.
And for people here in town to make excuses saying that you don't have enough time, you don't have this, we can't do this, these three gentlemen here goes to show that you can do it. There's 24 hours in a day.
That's right.
It can all be done.
Yes.
It can all be done. You might not get that sleep like you wanted, but you'll get that later on.
Yes.
Fair
Later
enough.
on down the road.
Yes.
Now, gentlemen, we have just a few minutes left. Was there anything else that we could speak to or anything else that we could highlight?
If I may show, this is the logo for the store. This will be on the exterior of the building, inside the building. And GPS, not GPU. They don't provide electricity, but GPS, the Greater Prospect Store. Basically, it came about by saying that all traffic, everything leads to the Prospect Community Store, the Prospect Store, so Greater Prospect Store. So make sure that, again, you stop by and patronize the store. And thanks again to all of the great volunteers. We can't
Right.
say enough.
Johnstown High students created that logo.
That's
I think we
right.
should mention
Yes.
that, which is really
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. So you got, again, there's a lot of partnership.
Yes.
going on with
That's
that.
right.
And I always preach that on this shows that you need to have partnership to succeed, especially in this area now.
That's right.
A lot of people are saying I, and me, but when you
Yes.
start saying we, and us, us, and that's where you get the co-op, the
That's right.
the Greater Prospect
Yes.
Inc., and that's where you get the co-ops.
Yes.
So I get excited. You see, I get real passionate about stuff like
Yes.
this because
That's great.
growing up, I'm 31 years old, and growing up through Johnstown, being young, I seen the potential of what Johnstown could be. I seen the glitz and glamour, and then somewhere along the way that changed. But in the last recent years, with the help of gentlemen like yourself, I've seen that change. And I can look at my son in the eye and say that we don't have to leave Johnstown to be successful.
That's
we
right.
can be successful right here in
That's
town.
right.
And I mean it.
That's right.
And I hope our viewers at home have enjoyed this show and plan to meet you all up there for the opening.
Great.
On
We'll be
Martin
there.
Luther
It's gonna be
King Day.
fantastic,
What
yes.
time do we open on Martin Luther King Day?
I believe the scheduled opening is at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I believe so.
I believe it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We will be advertising, so
Yes.
Okay.
you will be getting the information. We'll be getting it out to everybody so they'll know.
Sounds good. While I'm on the subject, is there do you have like an hours of operation lined up at all yet, or?
Well, we do have some hours of operation. As it stands right now, we're talking 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
Okay.
All right.
Gives everybody a chance to get out. And
That's right.
That's right.
Especially if you're in the area, what else
Yes.
excuse do you have?
That's
to come
right.
down there?
That's right, exactly. Yes.
And then after
Yes.
it closes, some evenings there'll be lessons, as we said.
Sure.
Maybe in cooking lessons or healthy lifestyle lessons and stuff like
See,
that.
that's a great idea.
You-
Yeah.
To
yes.
call this store would be a generic term for it.
That's right. It's more of a community center.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
More of a
right.
community center. Yes.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for making my day today with some
Thank you.
uplifting information here in the greater Prospect area of Johnstown. Again, we look forward to the store opening come Martin Luther King Day, and if you're watching at home, please be sure to go by and spend $1 or $2, or just go by and see what's going on up in the Prospect area. You know, there's been a lot of work put into this, and I'm sure the outcome will be even greater. Honestly.
If we could say thanks to all the ministers also, the reverends and ministers within the community, Reverend Lloyd King, who unselfishly opened up his church for meetings for so many months also, and a shout out to Jason Kramer, one of the other artists who's working on the art project.
Perfect. And now, again, we may have like a minute or two. Was there anything else that we left out or modified? Because you know, after you leave, there's always that, I should have said this. Did we miss anything?
Well, we are waiting for the approval on the WIC and SNAP
okay.
also, so that people will be able to utilize that also, yes.
That's good. That's good. And were you about to say something?
I
there,
was
too?
going to just say that we want to focus also on the fact that we want to bring some unity in the community. You know, we want to be able to make people understand, like you were saying. There's a lot, people complain about it's boring here, it's not this, it's not that. There's plenty of work to do
That's
if you
right.
want to do it.
That's right.
And this is what we're trying to show you. And it's not dirty work, it's good work, it's
right.
mind-enhancing work, and it's things that we can do to help one another.
That's
right.
perfect.
Amen.
You almost said it. You can't spell community without the unity, right?
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it has truly been a pleasure, and you know what? Maybe we can work something out to where we can take this show on the road and maybe meet you up
All
there
right,
someday.
that'd be
That'd
great.
be something different.
Yeah.
for
That would
us.
be fun.
Something
Yeah.
interesting.
Amen. Great.
Definitely. It sounds like it'll be something great for everybody involved.
And the community, pray for us too. Pray for the
Definitely.
success of the store.
And again, if I wanted to volunteer or get in contact with your organization, how could I get in contact?
Well, for right now, contact the Community Foundation.
Okay.
And then once we're up and running and we got a phone in there and all that stuff, that it'll be right at the co-op, of course.
Okay.
But for right now, it's cfalleghenies.org or 536-7741.
Perfect. And that is the Community Foundation for the Alleghenies. That's the guy to know. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed our show. My name is Ron Fisher, your host of our NAACP Perspective Show, inviting you to contact us at Johnstown NAACP, P.O. Box 1064, Johnstown, PA 15907. You can also reach us by telephone, 814-535-6937, and by email, naacpjohnstown@gmail.com. Again, I'm your host, Ron Fisher, inviting you to stay tuned, to stay up to see what we have going on with our show. Because as you can see, what I love about this show is we get to unveil some of Johnstown's best kept secrets. And what we're trying to do is eliminate that secret part and let the world know what we have going on in Johnstown. Because it's not a place to run, it's a place to come to, it's a place for family, it's a place for community and unity. So again, I want to thank these gentlemen, the Committee for the Greater Prospect, Inc. And we'll stay tuned with these gentlemen. Hopefully we'll go to the store and you all join us for that day on Martin Luther King Day. I believe it was 10 a.m.
Yeah.
10 a.m. See us there at the store and take part in the community. There's always something that could be done. There's always something that could be clean. There's always something that we can always use the innovation, you know. So please stay active. Please stay tuned. You can look for our episodes Thursdays at 7 p.m. on Atlantic Broadband's local channel 9. My name is Ron Fisher, your host for NAACP Perspectives, and we'll see you then. Thank you.